I hope you're all having a holly jolly day and Merry Christmas in July. So for those of you that don't know, I'm gonna sound crazy for a second before I explain it. Today is July 25th, and I feel like it's like an unofficial Disney holiday where people celebrate Christmas in July, meaning that like on Instagram you'll see tons of photos of like Christmas time at Disney. I don't know if it was like a Disney World thing, but I didn't even know about it until I worked there, and all of a sudden I see people like posting tons of Christmas content on July 25th, so I kind of like got the hint, and I thought this would be the perfect time to talk about and do a little story time of the one time that I got to be in the Disney Christmas special back in 2015, and I got to see Ariana Grande, Jason Derulo, Andy Grammer, Charles Perry, and Jhene Aiko in concert, in person, like a couple rows back for free as a cast member. It was honestly the coolest experience I had while I was working there, so I thought this would be an appropriate time to tell that story. So I hope you guys are excited to hear about that experience today, and let's get started. Also, I thought it'd be appropriate if I was wearing my things that I wore back then. So basically I actually wore these ears at the filming, and then I got this shirt when I went to the holiday party. So you can see it's the 2015, that's the year I went to the Christmas party, and it's like very Merry Christmas. That was like the theme that year. But anyways, I didn't get this idea on my own. Someone commented on my Instagram on this photo I posted of Ariana Grande that I took back in 2015. So they were like really deep, saying that they wanted to hear the story behind how I got the photo, and then I asked you guys on Instagram if you guys would be interested. So if you guys aren't following my Instagram, it's Mackenzie Brown. I'll just link down below like the spelling and everything, but I posted a lot of Disney content. But yeah, so I had all these photos from when I went to the concert. I took photos of all the performers. I'll get into that, but basically they asked if I could tell the story, and honestly I'm surprised I haven't told the story already, so here we go. Also, I found a clip someone had taken or posted to YouTube. I'll link it down below, but someone posted the entire recording on YouTube, so I actually found this clip. I'll explain it later, but I was actually on TV, which is the coolest part, in this like really short clip. I'll have to like really slow it down. Good to be alive, but I found it, so I get to share that with you guys too, because I didn't take a video of it at the time in 2015, which was really dumb, but I still have it, so that's great. Anyways, let's just jump right into it. So basically, how in the world did I get this opportunity? I feel like that's where I need to start. So I'm not sure if I heard about it through friends, if I just saw it through the hub, or like what was going on, but somehow I found out either through word of mouth or just seeing advertised on the hub. And the hub is, pretty sure it's still called the hub, but that's like the main portal that you sign into as a Disney cast member, as a Disney employee, and they list different like deals and stuff. Like sometimes you get cast member discounts at local businesses and things like that. Like they list all of that there. I knew you did have to get the tickets through the hub. Again, I don't know if any of this is still the same. This is how it was in 2015. That was 4 years ago. Things could have changed by then, but basically went on the hub and found out that, hey, you can get tickets to go be in the filming for this show. So basically it airs on Christmas Day. If you guys hadn't seen it, I honestly didn't. I'm a horrible Disney fan. I had no idea they even did this, but apparently it's a big deal, and I think they alternate too, because sometimes it's at Disney World and sometimes it's at Disneyland, but they do a Christmas filming every year, and they you basically see it on TV. I think it's on ABC on Christmas Day, but they don't film it on Christmas Day, so it's not live. I know it kind of seems like it's live, but it's not live. There's no way they could do that. So basically what they do to fill the audience is they ask cast members. So what you can do through the hub, or at least what you could do, is once the tickets go live, and they're all free. It's like totally free. I don't know if there's like limitations on how many you can get, but you can grab a couple of them as a cast member and just sign up for a certain day. So they tell you which days. I don't remember if I'm pretty sure they designated between the days where they had the musical performances and the days where they did the parade portion of it. So, because I think I knew I was going to one of the musical performances. I had no idea who was performing. They didn't say anything. It was just like, sign up for this day, this day, this day, or this day. I picked a random day. I didn't even know if I had that day off because I think it was like far enough in advance where I didn't know my shift yet. And so I didn't even know if I had that day off, but I was like, oh, I'll just try it. I got a couple tickets when they went live because I was like, well, maybe I'll have some friends that will want to go with me and we'll just see what happens. So it actually worked out really well. I happened to have that day off. off. Either that or I switched with someone. Regardless, I was able to get that day off. I had two friends, Victoria and Lauren, that wanted to go with me. So again, I'm pretty sure even the day of like getting there, I had no idea like what was going to happen, what was going to be like. I just knew that like you had to get tickets in advance. Okay, so I had to pause to double check which day I actually went because I wasn't sure. I knew it was in November, I didn't know the actual date, but thankfully for Instagram, I went on November 12th. So November 12th is when I took all these photos on my Instagram. I'll link them on the screen too, but I took photos of all the performers and it was on November 12th. So it was still like a considerable amount of time before it actually aired on December 25th. I remember it was a very warm day, but we got there super early. I can't remember what time they opened the doors or opened the gates. I want to say it was like 7 or so. It was pretty early, but I remember getting there even earlier than that because I really wanted to get a chance to be up towards the front. And I'm pretty sure it was like first come first serve, which is what ended up happening. There were people that were in line before us, but I think we got there like about like a half an hour to an hour early and tried to get as close to the front as we possibly could. So actually when the gates opened, we were able to kind of wiggle our way to the front of the pack of the group, and they did have it like, how to explain this? They did like have people like leading the line with a rope so people didn't just like run towards the castle. So they kind of like let us in slowly, but I was towards the front with my friends. So when we actually got in there, we were in the middle section, like literally 2 or 3 rows back from the very front. So we weren't in the very front, but it ended up actually working out to our favor. But we were pretty close to the front. So all these photos, I used my telephoto lens because I didn't know how far away we'd be for taking photos and stuff. And I didn't even know what the rules were, but I brought my camera anyways. But I was so close. Like some of these photos, like it's very detailed, like how close I was to the performers. The first performers that we got to see were Charles Perry and Jhene Aiko. So they did a duet together. It was super cute. Her dress was stunning. I had never heard of her. I feel like she's a lot bigger now than she was back then. But she was absolutely beautiful. They both sounded amazing together. And one thing that's kind of cool too is ever since I've shared this either on like Instagram, actually at the time when I shared the photo of Charles Perry, I think he either commented on it or like I shared it on my stories and he like commented on that. But regardless, he like commented on it and said like, oh, that's a great photo. Like, thank you so much for taking that, which I thought was pretty cool because I feel like most of the time performers are just like, they never respond. So they went first and David Foster was like the host. They were kind of releasing this new, I think it was like Christmas album or it was like Disney theme music. So the performers would sing like I think 1 or 2 of their own personal songs and then they would sing other songs too. So I'm pretty sure, I could just watch the video, but I'm pretty sure Jhene Aiko sang an Alice in Wonderland song. In a world of my own, all the flowers would have very extra special powers. So like I remember Ariana Grande sang one of her songs. And I think Jason Derulo sang a Disney song. But they kind of did like a mix of songs. It wasn't very many songs. And basically they gave you a time when you could take photos and a time when you couldn't, and they let you know. And it's kind of interesting watching the show now because I knew how they did it. And you never see anyone with their phones up or cameras or anything like that, which is like super weird nowadays because everyone at any concert or anything is always filming things or taking pictures on their phone. So there was a time where they said, hey, you can take pictures right now when the like performer was warming up or the artist was singing like as a warm-up or run through. That's when you could take photos, but they asked that you did not take any photos or take any videos or have any phones out or any cameras while they're doing like recording it because they wanted to get shots of the audience. They said we want you guys to be super engaged, looking like you're having a good time, and they actually instructed us on like how to act. So certain songs like Merry Little Christmas song that Andy Grammer sang, have yourself a merry little Christmas. They wanted us to kind of be rocking back side to side, like smiling, maybe being arm in arm with a friend, but not super like jazzed up and excited. And there's other songs that they did. They want us to be more like energetic and like having a good time. So they did kind of like direct us in that sense, but they definitely said like no phones, no cameras, which is totally fine. It worked out great. One of the memories that I thought was so funny was that, you know how like in any Jason Derulo song, he goes, Jason Derulo. The entire crowd, like every time he stopped singing would be like, say your name, like how he does it, and he never did it, which was kind of sad. But He was beautiful. I've always loved Jason Derulo, like in high school. Like I loved all of his songs. And this is like, I don't know, I was like maybe 5 years out of high school, 6 years out of high school at this point. So he was definitely like one of my favorite artists to see. I didn't really know much of Annie Grammer at the time. And then Ariana Grande, she was popular, but she was not like the way she is now, where she's just like a Beyonce level performer. Love seeing Jason Derulo. That was actually what I was the most excited for. And I'm pretty sure we found out there, I kind of forgot to mention this, but I'm pretty sure we found out once we were there who we were seeing. So if you watch the show, you see these performers mixed in together at different times, and it looks like it's all in one thing, but really they split them up half and half. So I felt like after watching the show and seeing which performers were at the other screening, like I feel like I got the better performers, to be honest. You know what's cool too is they actually had the whole cast of Descendants there, so they were there at one point too. So like there was different opportunities, but you didn't really know like who was gonna be there, what you were gonna be doing. So I feel like I really lucked out with this concert. It was so cool. It was really, really hot, and it did take a really long time. It was several hours long. I remember at one point it was so hot that David Foster actually bought water bottles for everyone that was there, which I thought was super nice. But like, we were all dying, we were all crammed together, very tight. So those are the first three performers: Charles Berry, Jhene Aiko, and Jason Derulo. And then it's Ariana Grande, and she, I feel like, was definitely like the biggest performer, even like for the entire show. Like she was definitely the biggest performer, let alone that day. She ended up being an hour late, and the reason why I explained the whole thing about not taking photos of performers at certain points, and then when you could take photos, is because of what I'm going to tell you. So I had heard she was kind of like a diva before, but I was like, oh, I'll just give her a benefit of the doubt. I love her music. She seems like a great performer. And I don't know, maybe she's changed. I recently saw James Charles, well, maybe it was about like a year ago now, but James Charles did this video basically saying that she was like the rudest celebrity he'd ever met. She saw that video and she was not happy about it, and he was like, it was really awkward because he was like trying to like apologize for it. But so I'm not trying to say Ariana Grande is a horrible person. I'm just explaining the scenario in which I got to see her live and just telling you that story. So she was an hour late. All the other performers were on time, and we were out there in the heat. I want to say it was like 90 degrees. If you watch the video, you can see like the performers are sweating. There's like this one clip of Annie Grammer, and you literally see this bead of sweat just go down his face. Like, it's hot. It was really warm, and we're out there crammed together. There's no shade, and we were out there for hours, and she was an hour late. That wasn't super fun. But then when she got there, everyone was super excited. But the weird thing is during her warm-up, she wasn't actually performing. Like, every other artist performed during their warm-ups, and they told us over the microphone, like, this is the only time you can take photos of the artists and the performers. So they were saying that as she wasn't on stage, and she was having her dance crew basically spot it out for her, but she wasn't performing at all. And it was, people were getting really frustrated over this because they kept saying like, this is the only time you can take photos. But she was like hiding. She was hiding behind umbrellas. She was like purposefully like trying to get it so we couldn't take photos of her. I don't know what was going on. Maybe she was having a bad day. I don't know. But so basically we weren't allowed to get photos. So what I did, being in the third row, because I wasn't front and center, you couldn't see me with my camera, I literally was like shrinking down, like taking photos at the weirdest angle using my telephoto lens. But I'll share some of the photos on the screen. I got literally the best photos I feel like I've ever gotten of anyone. Like, they are perfect. They should be like, I wish that Ariana would, you know, share these on her social media because they're just beautiful and they're perfect. But I took these photos while she was performing because I'm like, well, we couldn't get photos any other time. So luckily I never got caught. But it's kind of a bummer that she was like hiding the entire time, and like, as it was very clear, like that was the only time we could take photos of her was for when she was warming up, and she was the only artist that didn't warm up. Like, Jason Derulo warmed up, it was totally fine. Also, another thing that was cool that happened was this couple got engaged, and that was not like rehearsed at all. It happened while Jason Derulo was like singing. I don't know who the guy knew. I think the guy who was proposing either knew David Foster or he knew Jason Derulo, or he knew someone. But he proposed to his girlfriend on stage. That was really, really cool. But yeah, so Ariana Grande, she sounded great, like sounded amazing in person. That was such a cool experience. But just kind of bummed about the fact that like she just really wasn't engaging with the audience at all. Like, she just seemed like she didn't care out of everyone else, and I was really looking forward to seeing her, so that was kind of a disappointment. Anyways, at this point, people had left because she was right before Andy Grammer, and so a lot of people, once they saw Ariana, they were like, peace, I'm out, and it was already like several hours into the day. So at this point, I was in the front row to see Andy Grammer, and just hearing his name, I couldn't remember who he was, but then once I heard him singing his songs, I'm like, oh, he's that guy. Okay, I gotcha. And he was my favorite performer because he actually engaged with the audience. He like would talk to us during this like downtimes. I mean, it wasn't like a lot, but he definitely like noticed that we were all there standing out there in the heat. He acknowledged us. He was like super friendly and kind. So, and he was an amazing performer. Like, everyone just felt alive. Like, there was just this vibe after Ariana. Everyone was kind of bummed because, like, they couldn't take pictures of her. And then he just, like, totally re-energized the audience. Like, he definitely had the best vibe out of any of the artists. Like, it was so cool. So, I was in the front row for his set, and the camera guy kept walking back and forth in front of me. And so I kept trying to, like, dance a lot and did a lot of, like, finger pointing and was trying to, like, sing along. I didn't know all the words, but there was, like, certain sections of words I figured out. So I was, like, trying like to get on camera, and there was one point where the camera guy was like in my face for like a good like 30 seconds or so, so I was just really lifting it up like, yeah, I hope I get on TV, that would be so cool, can't wait to tell my mom. So that was kind of fun. This was a fun way to end it, and then after that was it. So I almost didn't stay for the Andy Grammer one because I was so exhausted and so tired, but I was like, you know what, I'll just stay for one more. What's the harm? Why not? Let's do it. And I'm so glad I did because he was the best performance out of all of them. Anyways, that is how I got to see a free performance of all those artists. It was such a cool experience. It was very warm. I was very tired. And then after that, I literally went home, freshened up, and then went out to a Christmas party that night. So like a Disney party where you get to like do like the whole Christmas thing. I did that night. So it was a very busy Christmassy day, but it was a lot of fun. I have no regrets in doing that. So if you guys are cast members and you have the opportunity to sign up, I would totally recommend it. It was such a fun experience, even just to say like you did it. And then once Christmas time came around, I wasn't home that day, but I had my mom record it for me. And there was a small clip in Andy Grammer's set where you see me for like literally half a second. Good to be alive, I thought that was super cool, and it kind of like topped it all off. I mean, that doesn't really matter, but just to say, yeah, I made the Christmas special. That was super cool. That's the story. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please subscribe if you aren't, because I recently, like, I never asked people to do that, but I recently was looking at my statistics, and apparently only 22% of the people who watch my videos are subscribed. So go ahead and subscribe. I used to post on Tuesdays pretty consistently, but I've had a new job, and so like my schedule doesn't always allow me to do that anymore. Sometimes recently I've been posting like 2 videos a week. I try to do more if possible, so I would hate for you guys to miss any videos. I have some really cool ones coming up. Yeah, that's all I'm gonna say for right now, but they're really cool. They're gonna be really exciting, and you're not gonna want to miss them. They're Disney related too, because I know I haven't done a lot of Disney content recently, so I'm trying to get better at that, and you're gonna love them. So you should totally subscribe so you don't miss them. Also follow me on my Instagram accounts, because I do post more things on there, like daily photos and do Instagram stories. It's a lot of fun. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you liked this video, and I hope to see you guys in my next one. Bye!